AI is already pretty much the invisible operating system of our lives, from the music we stream to the news we read. But here's the thing, it's getting way more powerful really fast. And that's got experts asking a huge question. Are we actually ready for what's coming next?
No, really, think about it for a second. Your social feeds, your Amazon suggestions, even the route that Google Maps gives you. That's all AI, curating what you see, what you buy, and where you go, often in ways we don't even realize. So the real question is, what do the experts think is just around the corner? And maybe more importantly, what are we supposed to do to get ready for it? And this image, it just perfectly captures the whole point of a landmark report from Elon University's Imagining the Digital Future Center. The big idea here isn't about hitting the brakes on AI. It's about consciously, deliberately building up our own resilience as individuals and as a society so we can actually thrive in this new world.
And let's be clear, the report is practically screaming this from the rooftops. This isn't some sci-fi problem for our grandkids. Nope. The tipping point is here. It's happening right now.
Get this, a whopping 82% of the tech experts they surveyed, they believe AI is going to play a way bigger role in our day-to-day lives and in, how society functions within the next 10 years or less. I mean, that is a massive, massive change happening on a super short timeline.
Okay, but here's the real kicker. The change is coming, and it's coming fast. But are we ready for it? While nearly half of those same experts, 45%, are pretty worried. They think we'll be only a little or maybe even not at all resilient. That's a pretty serious warning sign about our ability to adapt.
So what's got them so worried? What are these big issues that they think are really going to test us? Let's dive in and break it down.
All right, so they flagged a bunch of major challenges. We're talking everything from a workquake to a total collapse of, shared reality. But the number one concern, the thing that really topped their list, it was the potential loss of human agency. And this quote from the report, wow, it just nails it. The fear isn't some robot takeover. It's that as AI systems automate more and more of our world, deciding who gets a loan, what medical treatment you get, they'll subtly, quietly start to shrink the space where we can make our own choices. Basically, they could chip away at our ability to think for ourselves and, steer our own lives.
Okay, I know. Loss of human agency sounds kind of abstract, right? So let's make it concrete. We're going to look at a real tool that's out there right now. It's called OpenClaw, and it's a perfect example of the kind of tech that's behind all these concerns. So OpenClaw, it isn't just another chatbot that you ask questions. No. It's what we call a personal AI agent. It can actually do stuff for you. And the really crucial part, it runs locally on your machine. That gives it direct access to all your files and apps, which is something that cloud tools like ChatGPT just can't do. Yeah, what we're talking about here is a huge shift, right? From passive to proactive. Think of it like this. A normal chatbot is like asking Siri for a recipe. A tool like OpenClaw, that's like having a little robot chef that can actually walk into your kitchen, your files, your apps, and cook the meal for you. It's not just responding, it's acting. And the way it works is actually pretty simple. It's got channels to connect to your apps, like Slack or WhatsApp. It has a central gateway, which is kind of like its brain for routing commands. And then it has skills, which are like little programs that teach it how to do specific tasks. Anything from writing an email to keeping an eye on a server. Okay, so now that we get how a tool like OpenClaw actually works, we can circle back to what those experts were saying. Because this kind of tech, it's the definition of a double-edged sword. It literally represents both their biggest fears and their greatest hopes for the future. Let's talk about the peril first. One of the biggest worries in that report is something they call automated complacency. And it's exactly what it sounds like. The danger that we'll just start to overtrust these AI systems and, stop thinking for ourselves. And you can totally see how easy it would be to fall into that trap, right? Imagine an agent that handles your inbox, gives you the gist of sensitive documents, and even drafts your work for you. I mean, the convenience is off the charts. And that's exactly the risk. It becomes so easy to just stop questioning, stop digging deeper, and just accept what it gives you. But then there's the other side of the coin, the promise. The report also talks about the incredible potential for what they call a human-technology binomial. It's a fancy term for a partnership, really. A symbiotic relationship where AI isn't about replacing us, but about amplifying our skills, our creativity, and helping us tackle some of the world's biggest challenges. This quote from Adam Theurer, he's a tech policy expert, really captures that optimism. The idea is that for people who believe in our ability to adapt, this isn't some looming crisis. It's actually an age of unbelievable opportunity. So we've got the risks on one hand and the huge rewards on the other. How do we navigate this? Well, the report says we need a coordinated plan. We need to build something they call a human resilience infrastructure. And here's a really key point. The experts are clear that just telling people to try harder isn't going to cut it. This can't just be about individual grit. They're calling for an institutions-first approach. Because AI is a systemic change, we need a systemic response, from the top down. For governments, this means they've got to step up and set some clear rules of the road. We're talking about legal boundaries for what AI can and can't do, making sure there are independent safety checks before these powerful systems get released, and building a solid way to tell what's real and what's fake online. Now, for the people who are actually building this stuff, the developers, the message is to design tools that augment us, not replace us. And I love this part. They're suggesting we intentionally build in friction, little speed bumps or moments of pause that force us, the human user, to actually stop and think about a choice, instead of just blindly clicking accept. And finally, for our educators, the job now is way bigger than just teaching kids how to use a computer. The report talks about teaching existential literacy. That means helping people understand how this technology is actually shaping their goals, their values, their very sense of self, so they can consciously choose their own path in this new world. Look, at the end of the day, this future isn't something that's just happening to us. It's something we are all building together right now. The experts have given us a kind of blueprint, but it really does start with each of us. So I'll leave you with this question. In this new AI age, what's the first brick you're going to lay?